brought my pigeon home, she wanted nothing to do with me. In fact, I don't think Kettle really liked me at all when we first met, but over time she learned to trust me, and now she won't leave me alone. Today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get from that to this by understanding your pigeon's body language and bonding with them at their pace. This video will walk you through the steps of how to build trust, connection, and a stronger bond with your bird. The first day that you bring a pigeon home is crucial. You should have your cage already set up before you even bring them home, with their food, their grit, their water, and all of the basics. Ideally, your bird will have at least a few hours alone in their cage without you hovering nearby. I'm sure you're gonna wanna watch them, talk to them, and maybe even pet them, but please resist the urge. Added stress not only can harm their health, but it also will make the bonding process take longer. Leave your pigeon alone for at least a day, ideally a week if you can. The goal is to give your pigeon time to adjust to their surroundings and to feel safe on their own. You'll probably have to change their water or their food or their paper, but avoid disturbing them as much as you can for the first week that you have them. Before you can actually interact with your pigeon, they need to be comfortable with you existing. The term parallel play describes doing an activity near one another, but not actually interacting, like someone reading a book while the other paints. When bonding with a pigeon, parallel play is a great way to start establishing trust. A great way to start is by doing calm, stationary activities near their cage. Examples of these kinds of activities are reading, crocheting, or even just lying in your bed watching flat wavelength videos. The goal is to solidify your presence as something non-threatening. When you're engaging in this parallel play, pay close attention to your bird's body language. If they're eating, sleeping, or especially preening themselves while you're nearby, that's a good sign that they're getting more comfortable. Eventually, you can start letting them out of the cage during your parallel play session, and this gives them the opportunity to choose how close they want to be with you. If your pigeon is keeping their distance, that's totally okay. Make sure that you allow them to have that space, and don't force yourself any closer than you need to be. But if your pigeon is approaching you or even lingering closer by, that's a great sign of progress. The only trouble with the out of the cage parallel play process is that eventually you have to get them back into their cage. Sometimes if you leave the cage open, they'll go back in when they're hungry or want some water or something like that, but sometimes they don't go into the cage by themselves. If this happens, what I recommend is turning off the lights and using the darkness as a cover when putting them back in their cage. Not only will the darkness help them stay more calm, it'll also reduce the association with you and the stress of direct interaction. Once your pigeon is comfortable in their home and comfortable with you, it's a great time to start interacting with them. Hand feeding is a great way to start interacting with your bird because it's both rewarding and beneficial to them. Fill the palm of your hand with seed. If you happen to know what kinds of seeds they prefer, try to prioritize those. Place your cupped hand near the entrance of the cage where your bird can see the food but doesn't need to be close to you if they don't want to be. Leave your hand still for a minute or two, giving your bird time to approach or decide not to. Repeat this process of offering food by the cage door until your pigeon is comfortable with you, and ideally eating out of your hand. There's no set timeline for how long this process will take, so be sure that you're patient with yourself and with your bird. Once your pigeon is approaching your hand and eating out of it, you can place your hand closer and closer to them upon each approach. If you and your bird both become comfortable with palm feeding, you might want to consider moving on to finger feeding. Between your pointer finger and thumb, hold one seed at a time. Allow your pigeon to take it from you by offering it to them very slowly. Not every bird is going to react well to palm feeding or especially to finger feeding. Every bird has their own personality and their own quirks. Some birds just have a preference against hands. If your pigeon happens to be among those that don't respond well to hand feeding, please don't worry, because there are plenty of other ways to bond with your pigeon. Nest building is an important part of being a bird, and pigeons are no exception. Even though pigeons make really ugly nests, which I have another video explaining by the way, nest building is a really great way to bond with them. If you have a single pigeon, it's likely that over time they're going to eventually see you as their mate. Once a female bird sees you as her mate, it's very likely that she's going to start laying eggs, and that means that she's going to probably want to make a nest. If your bird has created a nest and you've already established trust with her or him, offering them nesting materials is a great next step in the bonding process. Kettle's favorite nesting material is cotton swabs, but pigeons will happily use all sorts of things. Party paper, sticks, even their own molted feathers. If your pigeon is comfortable with your hands, you can hand them materials directly when they're sitting on the nest. If your pigeon doesn't like your hands, I would recommend using chopsticks, which is what I do with Kettle. If it isn't obvious, I really like birds, and I love to wear clothing that has birds on it. Bird Collective is a company that creates clothing, accessories, and merchandise for people who like birds. They have a lot of really cool designs and a lot of variety when it comes to the different birds that they represent. Whether you live more coastal or Midwest like me, Bird Collective probably sells merchandise for a bird that lives in your area. A portion of Bird Collective's profits is donated towards bird aid organizations, meaning that your purchase directly supports birds. The link to their website is in the sponsored section of my Linktree, and that's also where you can find my coupon code that'll get you a discount on your purchase. Thank you so much to Bird Collective for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to bonding with your pigeon. A pigeon's preference towards petting is a gamble. Some pigeons will want you to pet them a week after getting them, and some pigeons just don't want to be pet. Whatever your pigeon's preference is, the key is to let them initiate. A great way to start petting your pigeon is to allow them to pet you first. A way that pigeons express care for one another is by preening each other. If your pigeon starts preening you on your hand, your face, or your clothes, they're showing you affection. You can reciprocate that affection by touching them where they seem the most comfortable, being gentle and slow when you do. Since Kettle isn't really a fan of my hands, when she preens my face, I give her kisses as a way to reciprocate. If your pigeon coos or flaps their wings at you, it can both be attention-seeking and courtship behavior. Try attempting to pet them slowly and read their reaction. If they seem open to you touching them, go for it. If they move away, respect that boundary. I'd really like to go deeper into what certain gestures mean in a different video about pigeon body language. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, please let me know in the comments. An important thing to remember is that bonding is not about forcing closeness. It's about reading your bird's signals and responding appropriately. If you move at your pigeon's bonding pace, you will be rewarded for that. Be constantly aware of how they're interacting with you and the world around them. This means paying attention to things like their food preferences, any favorite perching spots, any fears they seem to have, and their body language. And body language is especially important in understanding how they feel about you. Again, if you'd like a video all about pigeon body language, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, please put those in the comments too. I also have a Discord that you can join if you want advice from both me and from other pigeon owners. If I can't answer a question, someone in my Discord definitely can. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to go the extra mile and support my channel directly, you can check out my Patreon because it's the best way to make sure that I can keep making videos like these. Over there, you'll get exclusive behind the scenes content, early looks at my upcoming projects, and your name will be featured at the end of every video. By joining my Patreon, you're not only supporting me and Kettle, but you're becoming a part of a community that keeps this channel running. Alongside long-form videos like these, I also make short-form content here on YouTube and on all of my social media. My Patreon and my social media can be found in the description of this video, and it's also in my Linktree, which is also in my description. Thank you again for watching, and if you're subscribed, I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!